Greetings and welcome to Yarnspirations.com. In this video we're going to make the Harvest Crochet Pumpkin. This is an adorable little bit of home decor that you can use to get ready for Halloween or any other kind of fall festival that you may celebrate. To get started we're going to need the pattern, which you can get here on Yarnspirations.com. Then you're going to need Caron Simply Soft yarn. Now there's a bunch of colors listed on the pattern. You don't need all of them, just whichever one you like. I used pumpkin, but we also show light country blue, dark country blue, and off-white. So whatever color you want your pumpkin to be, I wanted mine to be pumpkin colored, but you can go crazy. Also, you will need a skein of the taupe for the stem. So no matter what color pumpkin you use, you need that dark color for the stem. You will need a crochet hook, size US H8, 5mm, or size needed to obtain gauge. I will say, if you are waffling about what size crochet hook to use, a little bit tighter is better than a little bit looser because you don't want your work to be so holey that the stuffing comes out. You'll also need a big handful or two of stuffing, and that's all you're going to need to get started. So let's get going and make this adorable little crochet pumpkin. All right, let's start at the very beginning, where it says instructions on the first page. We're going to chain 2, 10 single crochet in second chain from hook and join with slip stitch to first single crochet, which will give us our first round. And color A is basically, or color 1 is basically whatever color you decide you're going to make your pumpkin in. The second color, of course, is the taupe for the stem. So that's 1. Do remember I tension my yarn a little differently than some people. You tension your yarn how you tension it, and all shall be well. They're all going in that same spot. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This would also be a good place for the magic ring technique if you're familiar with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I always like to double count to make sure that I have the number of stitches I'm supposed to, and we're going to join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. And so we have 10, and that is the end of the first round. For the second round, chain 1, 2 single crochet in first single crochet, 1, 2, 2 double crochet in next single crochet, 1, 2, 2 single crochet in next single crochet, and we're going to repeat that around. So 2 singles, whoops, 2 doubles, it is the varying height of the stitches that give the pumpkin its little vertical channels and make it look like a real pumpkin. So that is why we're alternating doubles and singles, is to get those little channels started. Let me pull up some more yarn here. This is the end of my last repeat, and then it says repeat from the start to the last stitch. There's my last stitch right there. and I'm going to put 2 double crochet in that last stitch, joining with a slip stitch to the first single crochet, and that will give me 20 stitches. So I'm going to count before I join. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Whoops! Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is why we count. And then we're going to join that round with a slip stitch in the first single. So this is what it looks like at the end of the second round. It's almost a little, looks like a little star or a little flower almost. Now we're on the, all right, moving on to the third round, we're going to chain 1 single crochet in first single crochet, and that is the same stitch where we had the slip stitch. Now the next 2 stitches are in parentheses, so we know they're together. 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, all in next single crochet. So there's my single, 1 single, 1 double. One double crochet in next double crochet, 2 double crochet in next double crochet, 1, 2, single crochet in next single crochet. Repeat from star or asterisk 3 more times. So that's what we're about to do, but you can see we're accentuating that height difference between the stitches. So let's repeat from the asterisk. 1 single, 1 double, all in next single crochet. Double crochet in next double crochet. Two double crochets in next double crochet, single in next single. All right, once again we're getting our accentuated little, they almost look like flower petals at this point. I'm going to go ahead and finish off my third round, and then I will join you once again and we'll take a look at the fourth round. All right, here we are at the end of the third round. So I followed the instructions. I did that repeat 3 more times. Then we have 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet in next single crochet, double crochet in next double, 2 doubles in last double, and then we're going to join with a slip stitch in that very first single crochet, which is way over there. So at the beginning of the fourth round, we're going to chain 1 single crochet in each of first 2 single crochets. Remember that that first one is the stitch in which you have put the slip stitch for the round join. So there's my single crochet in each of first 2. 2 double in next double crochet. Double crochet in each of next 2 double crochet. 1, 2, 2 double crochet in next double crochet, which is here. Oops, it's over here. 1, 2, 1 single in each of next 2 singles. Here's my 2 single crochets down here. There they are. 1, 2. And we're going to do that from the asterisk 3 more times. Now, in this pattern, not only are we telling you what stitch to do next, but what kind of stitch it should be sitting in. So if we're telling you to put something in a single or something in a double, That's exactly how it needs to line up. If you've counted incorrectly, which I have to admit I have already done once and had to tear it out and make sure it worked evenly again, keep an eye and make sure you're putting stitches in the sort of stitch in which they belong. So 2 double crochet in next, 1, 2 double crochet in each of next 2 double crochet. Oh my goodness, I'm splitting today. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay, we should have 1 double crochet left, and there it is. 2 double crochet in that next double crochet. 1, 2. There's my 2 singles, single crochet in each of next 2 singles. We're going to repeat that all the way around, and then following the instructions. Let's take a look. So we're here on the 4th round. So we're going to repeat from the asterisk 3 more times. I've already done it once, so 2 more times for me. And then 2 double crochet in next double crochet in each of next 2, 2 double crochet in next double crochet, and once again we're going to join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet, and that will give us a total of 40 stitches. Moving on to the 5th round, we're following along again, single crochet in each of the first 2 singles, double in next double, 2 DC in next double, double in each of next 3, 2 DC in next DC, single crochet in each of next 2, and we're going to repeat that around. So what's happening is the 2 single crochets are lining up on top of each other. And as the pumpkin gets bigger and we're getting ready to stuff it, what's going to happen is all of these stitches are going to line up in a row, but you can see it's starting to show already. The taller stitches are going to puff out more than the single crochet stitches, and that's going to give us these fat little pumpkin sections. So let's go on and finish the 4th round, the 5th round, and I'm making the small pumpkin, so I'm going to do the 6th round, which is again very similar to the 5th round. It's the same, keeping the singles in the singles and doing the doubles as they are written. And then after that, I'm going to repeat that 6th round 5 more times. If you're making the medium or the large pumpkin, of course, you would follow these instructions over here. All right, after I get those 6th round in there, the specified number of times, then what's going to happen is we're going to begin the decrease and we're going to do the stuffing. So let me catch up and I'll be right back. All right, I have finished my 6th round 5 more times, and this is what it looks like. We have our little bumpy pumpkin bottom, and then we have built up the sides, once again keeping the single crochets on top of each other, which makes these nice little puffy pumpkin sections. And I took the opportunity at this moment to go ahead and weave in the end at the beginning. So at the end of the day, you probably wouldn't have to weave it in because it's going to be inside with all the stuffing, but I wanted it to be out of my way before I started doing the decreases and finishing the pumpkin. So once again, I have made the small. I want to talk very briefly about the medium and the large. So the small is what I have done. And you'll notice when you get to the 6th round and you keep repeating the same round, there's no more increases. To make the medium and the large pumpkins, there are more increase rounds, and they're noted because you have the stitch count at the end of the round. And so there's more increasing on the other pumpkin. Now, no matter which size you're doing, when you get to the end of the work even section, you're going to start with the medium and large pumpkin decreasing here, and you're going to go the 1st round and the 2nd round and the 3rd round. For the small pumpkin, you're going to begin right here where it says all sizes. So the medium and large pumpkin, you'll do those 3 rounds first and then go to all sizes. For the small pumpkin, you go directly to all sizes. So let's take a look and see how that works. We're going to chain 1 and single crochet in each of first 2 single crochets, which is what we've been doing. And just one more reminder that that first single crochet goes in the same single crochet where the round join is. So we're going to chain 1 and single crochet in each of first 2 single crochets. Now, double crochet in next double crochet, double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook in the stitch after that, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. That is the double crochet 2 together, and you will see that on the beginning. You'll have the definition right here. That's what I just showed you, but it's all written out at the very beginning. So we've done our double crochet 2 together, double crochet in each of next 3. Make sure you're not going into the one where that decrease is. Your instinct, because there's a lot of space up here, instinct might be go in that same stitch, but make sure that you don't. 2, 3, double crochet 2 together. Let's take a look at that again. Yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull it through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, then do that again. Yarn over, insert it in the next stitch, yarn over, pull it through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. You have 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3. Single crochet in each of next 2 single crochets. 1, 2. So what's going to happen is, because there's decreases now, your pumpkins, let's see if I can get this so you can see it. It's been going increase, 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 work even, work even, work even, and now it's going to start to pull in. So we're going to repeat from the star or the asterisk 3 more times and then finish off that round the way it's written, joining the round with a slip stitch at the first single crochet of the round, and we will be down to 40 stitches. One, 2, 3, and another double crochet 2 together. And the 2 singles. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this first round where after it says all sizes, and I'll meet you right back here. All right, here we are at the end of the first round after all sizes, and I have followed all the instructions, joined my round to the first single crochet in the round. Now I'm going to start the second round. Chain 1, single crochet in each of the first 2 single crochet. Now we're going to double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, insert the stitch, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert in the next stitch, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. There's my double crochet together. 1 double crochet in each of next 2 double crochet. 1, 2, double crochet 2 together, and then single crochet in each of the next 2 single crochet. I'm going to complete this round in the same way that we've been doing. I'll repeat from the asterisk 3 more times and then follow the instructions and join with slip stitch to the first single crochet. Then it has a note that says insert stuffing at this point. So I'm going to finish up this round and we're going to come back and talk about stuffing. So here we are at the end of the second round after all sizes, and once again we have some decreases so you can see the top of the work pulling in. Now it says insert stuffing at this point. Why? Because as this round gets smaller and smaller, it's kind of hard to get the stuffing in there. There's not enough room. So we're going to stuff the bulk of it now, and then right before we close it up, we can always add more stuffing if we have to. So you're going to get your poofy stuffing, and I always recommend you sort of go through it when you get it. Make sure there's not any big horrible lumps in there. So whenever I grab a handful of stuffing out of the bag, I'm just gonna pull it apart a little bit, make sure it's nice and fluffy and soft. And I'm going to start inserting it in the opening, and I want to push and make sure that I have some stuffing in the bottom so it has a nice sturdy base on which to sit when it's sitting on my mantelpiece or wherever else I'm going to put it on display. Once again, just trying to get these big clumps out of there. Now, a couple other things about stuffing. Sometimes in crochet the stuffing peeks out a little bit, which nobody loves. So the trick with this is to get it stuffed enough that it looks like a big fat pumpkin, but not so stuffed that all the little puff balls are coming out the side, because that's unattractive. I have also seen people take an old foot from pantyhose, or you know, the over the knee high, the little sheer knee highs, and put the stuffing in that and then stuff it into whatever it is that you're stuffing, not specifically this pumpkin, but any kind of amigurumi or other item, so that the hosiery keeps the stuffing from peeking out the holes. But this is, we're doing pretty good here. You can see there's not any big giant puff balls coming out. Now, as you're stuffing, again, it looks like you're losing some of the definition of these sides, but don't worry about it, because when we finish the decreasing and pull the work all the way in, you're going to get the look that you want. So I'm going to stop here. I can always adjust the stuffing later on, but I really need to make sure before the round opening gets too small that I have a good amount of stuffing. You can see I'm just pushing it down there, making sure it's all nice and flat in the bottom. Also, I'm told some manufacturers make stuffing that is black or like a dark gray color, so that might be kind of fun for a Halloween item. So let's get the working loop back on the hook and take a look at this third round. Let's see where I was. All right, there was my slip stitch at the end of the second round. So I'm going to chain one. Now it says single crochet in first single crochet. Single crochet two together. So that's the next single. Yarn, insert the hook, yarn over and pull it through the stitch. Insert the hook in the next stitch, which was a decrease, yarn over and pull it through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Double crochet in next double. Double crochet 2 together. We did that on the previous row. Yarn over, insert your hook in the stitch, yarn over and pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, draw through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, single crochet in next single crochet. So here we're coming to the 2 single crochets in the row. We're single crocheting in just the first one this time. Pull that little fluff ball out of there. I picked up some stuffing when I was inserting my stitch. So we're going to repeat that from the asterisk. So single crochet 2 together. And once again, for the single crochet 2 together, much like the double crochet 2 together, the text instructions are written out at the very beginning of the pattern. Double crochet 2 together. And single crochet. You see once again how it's drawing in around the top. That's exactly what we want it to do. Just a couple more repeats of this, single crochet 2 together. Double crochet. Double crochet 2 together. Single crochet. All right, single crochet 2 together, double crochet, double crochet 2 together, single crochet. Okay, almost there. So we did that 3 more times. We repeated from the asterisk 3 more times. Going to single crochet 2 together, double crochet, double crochet 2 together, and then join the round with a slip stitch in the first single crochet, which is way over here. It's a little, again, it's a little bit tight because the stuffing is pushing against the decreases. So there's our slip stitch. At the end of the 3rd round, you can see we're almost through. Let's move right on to the 4th round. Chain 1, single crochet together 10 times, single crochet 2 together 10 times. So that's 1, and this is going to pull it way in, 2, keep your stitches nice and tight so that it's sturdy, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fasten off, leaving a long end. So I'm just going to cut, I don't know, probably 12 to 14 inches. Just going to cut that. Going to bring the cut edge through my last loop to end it off and pull it tight. So I'm going to take one more look at my pumpkin. I'm going to make sure he's nice and stuffed in the bottom. I'm going to just use my fingers and hold that together. I think we could use just a tiny bit more in the top. So I'm going to just get one more little handful of fluff and squoosh it in there. You can adjust however you need to, but I don't want my pumpkin to be flat. So I'm just going to squoosh a little bit more at the top. That looks better to me. Now I'm going to grab a tapestry needle, thread my cut end through the needle, The instructions say draw end tightly through remaining stitches. So I like to make a little running stitch. I'm just going to go in and out. Down, up, down, up. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Down, up. And I'm going to try not to split the plies because that's very annoying when you're trying to finish things up. And you have to be a little bit careful that you don't get so much stuffing, so much polyfiberfill stuck on your needle. Down, up, down, up, and I'm back to the beginning. So I'm going to pull this just as tight can be and keep stuffing that stuffing in until I have the last possible second. All right, so we've closed that all up. I'm going to take a little tack stitch right here to make sure it doesn't come undone. So I just went back a couple of times. It doesn't matter much what it looks like right there because when you put your stem on, it's going to cover up that little section. So I essentially tied a little knot. I'm just going to weave the end in like I normally would, just by going in and out through some of those last couple stitches. Again, it doesn't matter what it looks like because the stem is covered. I want it to be durable, and if I was really worried, I could just stick the needle through the whole thing and let the end rest inside the stuffing because nobody's ever going to see it. And then cut that little end. All right, so the last thing that we have to do, here's my little guy. And again, I can use my fingers to kind of squish, make sure all the stuffing is where I want it to be. Hold on one second, let me back up a little bit so you can see the whole thing. And so the next and last thing I have to do is the stem. So I'm going to get my taupe yarn and we'll make the stem real quick. All right, looking at the last section of the pattern that says stem with B, which is our taupe color, we're going to chain 10, single crochet in second chain from hook, single crochet in each chained end of chain, which will give us 9, and turn. Chain 1, working in back loop only of each stitch, work single crochet in each stitch to the end, turn. So we're going to do just back loop only single crochet until the work measures 1.5 inches tall or 4 centimeters. So there's my chain 10. You know I always love to work in the back or the bump of the chain because I think it gives me a neat edging. And I made my opening slip stitch a good 16 to 20 inches in from the cut end of the yarn because I want to be able to use that yarn to sew the stem on later. I always figure any less end to weave in is a fine thing. So I'm going to go ahead, single crochet in the back or bump of each chain across. Okay, so there's the end of my first row with my nice little neat edge because I worked in the back bump. Turn the work and chain 1, and we're going to go back loop only. So not the front loop, but the back loop. We're going through the back loop only. I know that that is a little hard to see in this color yarn, but skip the front loop, go into the back loop. I'm going to do that all the way across, and then we're going to keep repeating this row until the work is the length that we need it. And we're going to end off at that point. And once again, I'm going to leave a nice long tail because I'm going to use these tails to sew. I'm going to use the tail that I have already made to sew the stem onto the pumpkin. I'm going to use the tail at the other end that I just suggested you cut long to fold this in half and sew the stem up. So we're going to just keep going. See, front loop, back loop only. And you can see it leaves a little ridge. And then when we do the next row, the ridge will be on this side, but as you keep going, you get sort of a corrugated look. And it will look very woody, which of course is what we want our pumpkin stem to look like. See, we've got the ridge coming on this side, but not on the other. All right, I'm going to keep going until this piece is long enough, and then all we have to do is sew up the stem and attach it to the pumpkin. I'm going to just do one more row on the camera here. I wouldn't normally adjust this lighting to be as aggressive as it is because I'm sort of blowing out the color of the project, but I know with this additional light it's easier to see. So once again, here's my back loop only, skip the front loop, stitch in the back loop. So again, do not think that this is what the color of your project is going to look like, but I wanted to really sort of blow out the lighting here so that you could see a little more easily where I'm stitching. And once again, this is what I was talking about, is you have ridges. You see the ridges? And they're on both sides on alternating rows. So let me go back to the real lighting and we'll put the stem on the pumpkin. All right, I have decided to stay with the wacky bright lighting. So once again, you can see what I'm doing. So here's my piece, about 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters long. And I have ended it off, leaving a decent sized tail, and I've taken that cut end and threaded it through a tapestry needle. So now I'm going to fold the piece lengthwise so that the ridges run up and down the stem. Now it says sew the top closed, and the side, to me, the top looks fine the way it is. I don't care that it has that little tiny opening up there, and I like it to keep its rounded shape. So I personally am going to leave the top alone. Using my tapestry needle, I'm going to go through one loop on the front of the work and one loop of the back and pull it all the way through. So I'm just doing a whip stitch. Come back to the front of the work, through the front loop, through one of the loops on the other side, and pull it. Not so tight that it shifts downward, just tight enough to keep it closed. And again, try not to split the plies because it's a little messy, but if you do, it is not the end of the world. That up a little bit, but again, I don't want to pull it so tight that it bends. I just want it tight enough that the stitches sort of disappear. Alright, so there's my little stem. Like I said, the open top doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, you should stitch that up. But when I stitched it, it got kind of flat, and I didn't care for that look. So now that I'm down the bottom, I'm going to, again, take just a little tack stitch and end off this piece of yarn, which was my tail. It was my ending tail. Oh, let me get my other tail out of the way there. So again, just a little catch stitch, so it doesn't come undone. And I'm going to weave it in and out a little bit on the inside. Certainly home dec items that sit on the mantelpiece don't get as much wear as a garment per se, but I don't like my ends to come out, so I'm just gonna weave it through a couple of times and then clip it close. All right, here's my scissors. Just gonna trim it. All right. So now I'm going to take my other tail that's hanging out down there, and I'm going to thread that tail through my tapestry needle. And then I'm going to sew that edge of the stem onto the pumpkin. So once again, I apologize if the colors are blown out, but I want you to be able to see what's going on. Now, you could kind of plunk him in there so he's the same height up and down, but in my experience, actual pumpkins, the stem is a little wider at the bottom than the top, so I'm going to just spread that out a least little bit, and then I'm going to put him right on here. And remember how I said it didn't matter where you ended up the yarn on the orange color, on the main color, because the stem would cover it? That's why. So same thing, I want to just, once you get the first couple stitches, it's easier. And this is more than an art than a science, but I'm going to go through a stitch on the pumpkin side to side, and then come up through the bottom of the stem. Once again, pulling it tight enough that it stays, but not so tight that it loses its shape. And I'm going to do that all the way around, through a stitch, up through the stem color. So you can see my stitches if you look close, but generally speaking, and again, keep spreading out that little bottom. It covers up whatever little imperfections there might be on the top of the actual pumpkin. Spreading that stem not only makes it look more natural, but it covers a multitude of sins, if there are any sins hanging out there. Once again, don't worry if it's a perfect circle, because a stem on an actual pumpkin would not be a perfect circle. It would have grown the way it grew. And also, again, because this is a home dec item, it's going to sit on your mantelpiece. It's not going to be worn. We just have to make sure it's on there sturdily. It doesn't have to have so many stitches that it'll last through going through the washer and the dryer a million times. You know what I mean? All right, through the stitch, up through the bottom. Okay, we are just about there. And we are back to the beginning. All right, there's my little guy. Same deal, I'm going to take just a tack stitch to make sure that that stitching doesn't come undone. I'd pull it up tighter if I had to, but I think I'm in pretty good shape. Another little back stitch. I'm going to weave it in and out just a little bit. Because I'm right here by the seam anyway. And then I think I'm just going to come up through the whip stitch. Again, art, not science. And once again, if you decide you need to close it up, let's take a look at that. Maybe now is a good time to do that. I want it to keep its rounded shape. All right, so you can see I just did a little cross stitch there. I just don't want it to be flat like a pancake. I want it to have some depth. That's not so bad. So one more tack stitch. Again, you will do this how you do this. If it doesn't look exactly the way mine does, it's okay. All right, that is absolutely not going anywhere. And I'm just going to stick my needle through a few stitches on the inside, come out the bottom, and trim it so I don't have anything hanging out. All right, bear with me. I'm going to zoom back so you can see the whole thing. And here is our small harvest crochet pumpkin. This was a blast. I had a really good time making this, and I hope you did too. You can make them in a variety of colors to accentuate your own home decor, and you can make them in all kinds of different sizes. Thanks so much for joining us here on Yarnspirations.com. I hope to see you again soon.